Well, hello everybody from wonderful Las Vegas, Nevada. I am super excited. Terry, we've been staying in Nevada for a couple of weeks, but we're back in my hometown today, and I'm talking about something I'm really passionate about, and that's new home sales. So, Terry, I'd like for you to meet Nick and Tabitha. Say hello.
Hey, great to meet you guys. Looking forward to hearing about new homes in the Las Vegas metro area.
And so today we have one of the top sales associates for Beazer Homes. We have Nick Chupa. Am I saying it right, Nick?
Chupa.
Chupa. Okay. And we also have one of the top lenders. She's been with Beazer for quite some time. So we have a lender with us that does a lot of new home sales, Tabitha. Say hello, Tabitha.
Hello.
And by the way, we always start with the weather. Terry, we're going to be like 72 and sunny today. What do you got down there?
Man, I'm telling you, this has been an amazing winter. 74 degrees today. We're going to get in the high 80s later this week, but then right back down into the high 70s again next week. And this has been an amazing winter. And just like Las Vegas, come July and August, we'll be saying, man, wasn't that a great winter? Because it's going to be hot.
Did you say what city? Because I don't think they know.
In the Orlando area.
Yeah, Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've been really excited about this show. I can't wait to share. And you know what was funny, Nick, was that I had asked Nick about this, and he said, "Well, David, nobody's ever asked me to do a podcast before." And this podcast, you know, what we're all about is helping people that want to leave California. We don't tell them they should go or they should stay, but what we do is we try to educate them and give them tools. And I was talking, I don't know if it was with you guys or somebody else. I don't really want to talk to any other new home builders, Nick. I just like talk to you guys. But they had mentioned that 30% of their business is for people from California. Is that about right?
Yeah, I mean, it's up there for sure. We got a lot of folks coming from California to take advantage of the prices and before they go up, because they continue to trend up and it's, the demand from California. So
Terry, isn't that crazy that 30% of their business is from people leaving California? Why are so many people leaving California, Terry?
Oh, David, it's the weather. They can't handle the 70 degrees in the summertime and things like that. So they say, well, let's go to Las Vegas. At least it'll be warm there. No, it's because of we all know why. We all know why people are leaving. And
Yeah.
I'm excited. I tell you, one thing that people love is new construction. So I'm really excited to hear from Nick and Tabitha about qualifying for that if you have to have a mortgage. Of course, a lot of people don't, but certainly a lot of people do. So I've known Beazer Homes for decades, so I'm a wonderful home builder and would love to know more about what they're doing in the metro area there.
And Nick, if you don't mind, if you could give us a little bit of background, how long you've been in Las Vegas, how long you've been doing real estate, how long new home sales, and anything else you want to add, and then we'll start diving in.
So I'm born and raised in Las Vegas. I've seen it since God, I remember early. A lot of desert, a lot different. When I grew up, we've become a major city. We've got the big sports teams now. Big corporations are dumping a lot of money into the economy here. And it's been crazy. I've been selling real estate, new homes. I started in 2003. And it's been a crazy ride. I've been through the ups and downs, and the past 5, 6 years has just been steadily climbing up and up. Been at Beazer now here for about 7 years. Worked at the other big builders. Something that's special with Beazer is their focus is on building a home for the future. So big technology push, energy efficiency, stuff like that. That's true savings for our buyers,
Right.
the homeowners.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get into all that stuff. I can't wait. I know Terry said he can't wait to learn more. But and Tabitha, if you want to do a quick introduction and kind of let us know what your role is and how long you've been in the industry as well.
Yeah, so I have been in the industry since 2005. For the past 10 years, my focus has mainly been on new home construction and helping people in that space, as well as VA lending. It's those are my sweet spots there.
Mhm.
I've worked with Beazer for about almost 9 years now. I've been one of their partners, their lender partners. So we've been able to help a ton of families become homeowners.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. And the first thing on my list was I wanted to try to help educate people. And you guys have so much experience, and it's interesting. Me and Terry talked to a lot of people about relocations, and we help them with movers and lenders and different things like that and selling their home in California. But when we get into the nitty-gritty of an actual new home sale, what are some of the mistakes that you see, Nick? And can you explain? Maybe you could help some people that are going down that road. And let's be honest, it doesn't even have to be with the Beazer home, but just in general terms, what are some of the mistakes that people make when they're going new construction?
The key thing is, having somebody, like yourself, that can help them, guide them, kind of fine tune it for them, get them to the right place. A lot of people, they want to focus on resale. That's challenging in this market right now. But new homes is an amazing opportunity. The things we're doing, new homes wise, rate buy downs, the homes we're building energy efficient. It's, finding the right builder that provides a quality home that can actually save the buyer's money, is I think what our focus is and push is, and like I said, if they don't get with the right realtor to take them to the right place, then they might not find that great house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so incentives, I know, and like I mentioned at the top of our show, I said that I had just met Nick recently, and we have a client that actually didn't even Terry, he didn't even fly into Las Vegas. We did everything from FaceTime. Nick was amazing, and we got him qualified, and he's under contract, and he's getting a brand new Beazer home, and he didn't even come to the model. So I did a FaceTime with him on the model, and it's just a great story. And these are the things that we do when we help people that are in California. Because let's face it, Terry, sometimes people can't travel, and they have to depend on us to help them out with that. So I'm really excited. The guy's name is Dave. He's a really nice guy. And I'm super excited for him to get his new house.
Well, yeah,
Well, and
and
what we did with that, using technology, pictures, videos, stuff like that, allowed him to make an educated decision before it was gone. To circle back, what you said, mistakes I see is, folks that are out of state, California, Florida, that, I'll be there in 3 months. We've already narrowed down, this works for them, and they wait. And things are different in 2, 3, 4 months when they come. Rates are different, incentives are different. The house they might have fallen in love with that we showed them via video or pictures is gone. So
Yeah, Terry, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, just for education purposes, Tabitha, maybe you want to answer this. Can you explain what a rate buy down is so that people who don't have heard of that before, what that means?
Yeah, sure. So we have what's called a par rate. A par rate is basically your average rate for the day, depending on the loan product. And a par rate means you're not paying any discount points. So, and I've got some details on that I can share with you. But par rate means you're not paying any discount points. When the builder is giving you these enormous incentives, you are able to buy the rate down using some of the money that they're giving you to get a lower interest rate. So, for example, today, if a par rate, meaning you're not paying any discount points, is 7%. With some of the incentive that the builder is giving you, you can typically get your interest rates down to maybe 5.75%. Huge difference. That makes a huge difference in your monthly payment. So there's a lot to say about that. Affordability, you can typically afford a much more expensive new home than you could on a resale where you're not doing any buy downs.
And is that 5.75? Is that fixed for 30 years, or is that
Again, depending on rate or on loan program.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Wow, that's amazing.
Mhm.
And Nick, can you share what the incentives are right now if you were to purchase a Beazer home in your amazing community there?
So we right now, this month, we've got $15,000. So a
Wow.
tremendous amount of money that can be used,
Yeah.
with Tabitha for the buyer to, achieve that rate that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, huh, Terry? 15,000.
That is amazing. Well, can you describe the community? Is there more than one community that Beazer's in right now in Las Vegas, or can you tell us about the community you're in?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're throughout the valley. We do single family, we do townhomes. Big push on townhomes, just folks that want to kind of enjoy, the valley, their home, not worry about upkeep, yards, have things, like my community here, Junebird Trails, we've got swimming pool, parks throughout, gated communities. So we got a little something for everybody.
And
We try to strategically place them too, where, people can get on the freeway, get to work, get to the airport. We're about 10, 15 minutes, with traffic from the airport, which is close to Allegiant Stadium and all that fun stuff too.
Nick, our client that we were working with, he said that I really want to be close and I want to be able to walk to shopping. Well, right across the street, Terry, is a major, huge shopping center, Smith's Food King, and he could walk across the street and be there. And so I think with all the amenities and everything that they offer around Nick's community, it just was a perfect fit. And I'm sure that probably happens often in that subdivision, right, Nick?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's public transportation if you need it. They just did a huge revitalization down on Water Street, which has got a lot of entertainment, restaurants, bars, stuff like that. So again, very close where, you don't have to venture out too far.
Yeah.
Can you tell
And
us about the price points for those, Nick? What kind of price points you talking about?
So we start out about 1,200 square foot, 3 bedrooms, 344. And we go all the way up to our largest 2,000 square foot, 4 bedroom. We're about 460 right now. So
Wow, that is great.
yeah.
Wow.
and
And it's a great
Tabitha,
community. It's all low maintenance, gated. All they have to take care of is the inside of their home. What's great with a lot of the folks from California that are transitioning, some of them aren't completely transitioning right away. So with the townhouse communities, they can lock up, not have to worry about sprinklers or landscaping dying, and head back to California or wherever for months at a time sometimes. So
Wow.
I have to give you a plug, Nick. I gotta say, and Nick and I have talked, we've kind of become friends in a short couple weeks that I've known him. And it's been really, really awesome to work with Nick. And what Nick said before is you need to have a realtor. Well, you need to have a realtor that knows where to take their clients. They know who to connect them with. And it was so awesome because this, like I said, this was the first time that Nick and I had done any business together. And once I got my client into Nick's hands, I felt completely comfortable. And he just takes over from there. He gets my client connected to an amazing lender, Tabitha, and the whole process is just seamless. And it was funny, we were talking about this, Terry, and I don't know if it was Nick or one of his associates, but somebody was saying that a lot of times the realtor will come in and they feel like they need to keep on talking and keep on being the person in control, but they don't really know anything about. I mean, obviously Nick is the expert. He's been there for 9 years. And the realtor starts, saying, oh, blah, 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 blah. And it's amazing to be able to let Nick do his job. And they're so professional. I don't want to go in there personally and talk about the amazing energy efficiencies that they have, or the ways the walls are constructed, or the sound, or whatever else about the building. I'm not a builder, but Nick, he has all that stuff and he can share all of those details. And that's one of the biggest things that I saw with Beazer is, Nick, you want to talk a little bit about some of the construction and I mean, you guys are so far advanced.
Yeah,
well, we've spent 5 years fine tuning what Beazer is delivering in a home right now. And it's, I've done renovations. I've been in the business for a long time. I pay attention to construction. Folks are paying a lot of money for these homes, 360, 400, $500,000. It kind of appalls me that not every builder is doing what we're doing, but again, it took us 5 years to get there. Quality wise, I mean, it's just, we're not skipping anything. So you're getting a house that's, you know, in some cases, $70 a month to heat and cool. The things we put in the house to make the energy efficiency is also, it's sound deadening. It's just a better quality home all in all. We put in something called an ERV system, which is built into your HVA system, that filters out pollutants, allergens. You know, a lot of folks, myself included in Las Vegas, have terrible allergies. This is built into the system to, you know, pull out those pollutants and allergens. It's just an extra thing that, you know, Beazer spent a lot of time on researching and, you know, getting it down to a science. So
Terry, can you imagine 120 degrees or 117? Now that's only for like about 5 or 6 weeks. So for those of you that, you know, kind of beat us up about our weather, hopefully you're from like Michigan or something and it's minus 20 degrees there. But Terry, can you believe that if it's 114 degrees outside, you're going to have a $75 bill and you can keep your thermostat around 72?
Well, you're going to get people moving there from Texas, because that your power bill in Texas is going to be $600 if you're in that dealing with that kind of heat. So I can't imagine. And of course, now I know Northern California in particular has the highest energy rates in the country by far. And so when you talk energy, in fact, there's people in our group that have talked about now their energy bill every month is more expensive than their mortgage, which to me is just insane. And California has promised that oh, don't worry, it's just going to get worse. So, yeah, I could see why people would want to move to the Las Vegas area. And, you know, I got to tell you, and let me just bring this up. Weather is not everything. If you can't pay your bills, I don't care how great your weather is. If you're sitting in traffic all day, I don't care how great your bill is. If you're dealing with crime and homelessness and everything else, I don't care how great the weather is. You know, I love my life in Florida. David, I know you love it in Las Vegas. Nick, you've been there your whole life. Tabitha, I assume you've been there a while too. There is such a great country out there, and Las Vegas is a great 40,000 Californians moved to Las Vegas last year. They can't all be wrong. I assure you they're not.
They cannot. Well, let's switch gears a little bit, Tabitha. You've been a little quiet. I'm gonna pick your brain here a little bit. Tabitha, what are some of the mistakes that people make when they're doing a new build and when we're talking about getting approval to get this new home?
Well, I think probably the biggest mistake people make, wow, I mean, that's a tough one. The biggest mistake I would say is not being prepared, and not understanding the process. When a customer is looking to purchase a resale home, they have to have all of their financing in place, down payment in place at the time they place that offer, right?
Right.
When it comes to new home construction, because those houses typically are being delivered, or Nick can deliver a house in 4. By the way, Beazer is one of the only builders delivering in 4 months still today. But they're delivering houses in 4 months. So the buyer has 4 months to sell a house, to save cash to close, to, you know, let a CD mature. Those things we don't have the luxury of doing that when we have, you know, a resale and we're closing in 30 days.
I see. And so if you were going to give some people that were thinking, a lot of our, as you guys know, I shared with you, we have almost 300,000 members, and Terry's done such an amazing job of having a forum where people can get information, get educated. What would you say to people if they're, you know, they're selling their home and they're in the process of buying a new home and they want to start getting everything in order? What kind of documents do they need to have? And, you know, what do you tell your clients when they say, oh my gosh, we're going to buy a brand new home, but what do you need from me? Can we go down that road a little?
Sure. Again, depending on loan type, depends on the documentation that is needed. But for a typical W-2 buyer, we need 2 years worth of W-2s, 1 month worth of tax pay stubs, and 2 months worth of bank statements. Super easy. Yep.
And then how long does it take to get approved?
24 hours. less
That's
than.
awesome.
Do it in an hour. But we take an application, we review documentation and issue approval immediately. There's no, weeks down the road where you're waiting for an approval. Going back to, if you don't mind, going back to one of the biggest mistakes we do see people make is depositing cash into their account or taking large sums of cash out of their account during a transaction. So that's one thing we talk to customers about, not making any large purchases, not making any large withdrawals or large deposits without having, conversations with us about it.
And don't quit your job.
And don't quit your job. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
oh, there's so
don't-
many.
I think another point kind of to piggyback on Tabitha is, mistake wise is not getting with the lender first right away. Get a plan. The lender is there to guide you.
Yeah.
It also, it saves realtor, the buyer time. So you can focus on what you can afford. So that way, when you see it, I can have this and you can move forward. So getting with that lender, I think in the beginning is crucial.
Crucial. And full transparency. I tell every client that I work with, tell me everything. I'm going to turn the rocks over. So we're going to find whatever is, underneath there. If you let us know ahead of time, we can help you through whatever situation that you may be having. That's our job, is to help guide you to structure a loan for you and ultimately help you become a homeowner.
Nick, I want to piggyback a little bit on this, because, a lot of times I'll post in the group and, whenever I say something about Vegas, we're going to talk about why Vegas is so amazing, but I want to talk about our lender friends. And I kind of compare that to city friends. So, if you're just a negative person, you're just always going to find negative, but there's positive things about all cities. And there's when we talk about realtors, a lot of times they're like, oh, a realtor. Yeah, he just wants to sell us a house. And the thing that Terry's done so amazing is he has 350 realtors that he's partnered with across the country. And they're not just trying to make a sale. They're taking people in. They're making sure that this is where they want to be. We're having conversations about, well, do you think you could handle desert living? But for right now, I want to talk about realtors, and maybe we can break a misconception, because Nick, you educated me and I didn't realize this. I actually thought that you guys didn't really want a realtor to come in, because then we would hurt you and your sale. And Nick was like, no, we want realtors to come in and we want realtors to help educate these clients. But maybe you could talk about that realtor process. And for our people in California that are leaving and going to be moving into a new home, talk about having a realtor representation or just walking into the office, and what's the difference?
Especially with the California folks, it's helpful to have a realtor, but have the right realtor, somebody who's educated. This is a major purchase. It's an American dream. So you want that experience to be great. You want somebody who's knowledgeable. You want somebody that knows the valley, that knows, there's resale, there's new homes, knows a little something about the new homes and the new home process. Dave has spent a lot of time getting educated, learning this stuff. And, it's important you have somebody that will take you to the right places, listen to you. Most people want to talk. It should be, less mouth, more ears, right? So, that's kind of my motto, is I ask a lot of questions. Dave asks a lot of questions, and that's how you get down to what they want. Even with Tabitha, she's going to ask a lot of questions because, and she wants that transparency, because we're problem solvers more so than anything. We want to try to find what you need, and help you through the whole process.
Yeah.
And that realtor is very instrumental. So we rely on our realtor friends big time.
And what's the difference if somebody shows up and is that something you ask, Nick? Do you say, do you have a realtor, or if they just show up and say, hey, we're interested in these homes, what's that process look like?
We do ask if they're working with a realtor. It's important that if they are working with a realtor and that realtor's pointed us towards us, that they let us know, so that we can, have them part of that process if they get excited and decide to want to move forward.
And Terry, you got anything back there? All right, I got another one if you.
Yeah, no, Nick, can you tell us about what percent of has been built out where you are? How many more homes are going to be built, or how big the area is, or if someone's looking for a year from now, is it worth even talking today about buying a home?
Yeah, so we're the community here at Juniper. We're about 2/3 through. Good sized community, about 300 townhomes. We'll be going strong probably through the end of the year. Yeah, and then with that build process, Tabitha had said, it takes us about 4 months to build. So we'll be finishing those homes probably into 2025. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
And just to piggyback on that again, we're here to help. Nick, I loved what you said. You're a problem solver, and that's what realtors do. We love to hear stories, and we love to tell stories. I mean, the fact that Dave just bought a house from Seattle, he never came to see it. That's a great story, and it's a great story for him and a great story for us. When somebody comes in, what's it like? I imagine they must probably be looking at multiple new builds, and I know I wanted to feature Beazer Homes, but what happens with people that are really got it in their mind about new home builds? And do you share stuff about other builders, or what does that look like?
Yeah, again, goes back to kind of that discovery, asking them a lot of questions, what's important to them. Folks from California in particular, very conscientious about, energy efficiency, because utility costs are outrageous in certain parts of the country. They're going up here. So, in asking those questions, hearing what they're paying in power bills, and then, kind of zeroing in on what Beazer's doing. We go over that. We're not car salesmen. We're not trash talking other builders.
Yeah.
But I might, if they say, hey, we're looking at this, do they offer that? I might fill them in on it, just because I have the experience of working for the other builders.
Sure. And how many different communities does Beazer have about approximately?
Right now we have 7 communities. We've got a bunch coming online here too in the next few months. So throughout the valley, northwest, south,
Mhm.
Southwest, we have a big presence right now over here in Henderson. So.
And Tabitha, you had said you had some slideshows. I did allow you to share your screen. So if you want to share a couple things on a share screen, you can do that.
All right, let's see if I can get this together. Let's do it. Are you able to see it?
No,
not yet.
not yet. Let's make sure you can. Yeah, you can share. You got to click the button that says share screen.
I did. It shows that I'm sharing.
No.
You may have to select a different. Do you have 2 screens, Tabitha?
I have 3, yeah.
Yeah, so
It
you
says
may.
I'm sharing on screen 2, which I am. Let's just move it over to a different screen.
Yeah, try that. Let's see if that works. It's strange that it didn't
Oh, I
even.
wonder if it's me. No.
Oh, there we go. It's starting.
There we go.
Look at that.
Bravo.
So this is just gonna I did this basic new home construction versus resale and how it's gonna impact us. So here's the lending side of it. So can you see my next screen? There we go. So we all know there's huge incentives for the builder. So making the builder's money work for you just makes sense. So what can we do with this builder money? We can reduce your out-of-pocket costs at closing by paying the closing costs with the builder's money. And we can also use that builder incentive to buy down interest rate and reduce the monthly payment. So this is just a example of an FHA purchase with the purchase price being $515,000. So we'll compare new home construction payment versus traditional resale. So on new home construction, using that incentive, we're able to get interest rate down today based on today's rates, let's say at 5.75. On a traditional resale, when we do not have that builder incentive, today's rate is 7.125 is the estimate. So what does that do to your payment? You can see here, principal and interest payment on the new home construction would be approximately $2,950. And on that same purchase price on a resale, principal and interest is $3,406. Huge difference there. So we'll go through, assuming taxes and insurance are the same. We'll look at there, we have almost a $500 a month difference in our monthly payment.
Hey, Tabitha,
Mhm.
is that assuming 3.5% down?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. And
Yeah.
then that's so the mortgage insurance is included in these numbers.
Yeah, mortgage insurance is not on here, but I did this just to show principal and interest.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So over the course, and then what is the interest shown over the course of, the loan? You can see you would have paid a lot more interest on the traditional resale versus the new home construction. And here's what I really want to hit home. If you're buying a resale, to get that same payment, you would have to drop your purchase price to $460,000. So you have more buying power buying new home construction because of those incentives.
Wow, I'm super impressed. Terry, we've had a lot of lenders on. Nobody has brought a slideshow like this, and it's so I'm a super visual person. I think Terry is too. So for you to break down the numbers like this and really show it, home run out of the park. Great job, Tabitha. I really appreciate it. So I didn't mean to interrupt, but this is
No,
important.
that was actually the end of my show. I wanted to make it, just super simple.
Yeah.
And just kind of show, like, you definitely have more buying power with new home construction in today's market.
Can
Well-
you go ahead?
I was going to say, Nick, I assume you get a builder's warranty with your purchase of your home.
Yeah, so, this is a brand new home, never used, abused is what we say. It's an all-inclusive 1-year warranty. To kind of go off of what Tabitha said, sometimes this is the difference, they get with a realtor, they're pre-approved for a certain amount, right? At that 7% interest rate, and they're looking at resales that are just trash, old, need a lot of rehab. And if they get with the builder and they see this, now all of a sudden they're, like Tabitha said, their buying power increases and they're getting a brand new home, and what'd she have? $500 a month savings too.
Exactly.
Then you couple that with the new home and the energy efficiency, on a house her size that she was doing 500,000, you might be looking at an average utility bill at 250. And then you come over here and say it's 100. That's another 150 in their pocket plus the 500. So it's huge savings down the line. What could you do with $600 and $700 a month extra?
Yeah.
Well, and my point about the home warranty is the fact that, first of all, as you said, it's new construction, so you're going to have a better home anyway. But second of all, because of your energy efficiency, you're going to save money, as you said, Nick. But also, if there's an issue with the house, the builder comes in and fixes it as part of the warranty. Versus on a old home, you've got to pay the deductible, and you've got to, and it took me, my last one, I'm not going to say who it was, but my last dishwasher took the stupid home warranty company 6 months to replace the dang dishwasher.
Yeah.
Drove me nuts. But now you're not dealing with a home warranty company that's all they're trying to do is put money in their pocket. You're dealing with a builder that's going to be responsible and responsive to anything that comes up in the first year that you've got the home. So there's so many advantages to new construction.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that clients get a little confused on, and either Nick or Tabitha or both of you guys could touch on this, is when a seller says that Beazer Homes is offering $15,000. I guess clients sometimes get confused. They don't really know what they can use that $15,000 for. And I do get that question a lot. So if one of you guys or both of you could clarify, when a new builder says, hey, we're offering $15,000, sometimes they think, oh, great, I'm going to put $15,000 in my pocket and I'm going to go buy a new car. So could you guys clarify that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we clarify that with the buyers every single time. So basically the 15,000, Beazer will give it two different ways. Some towards closing costs, and sometimes they do what's called a flex credit. And I'll let Nick talk about that later. But if they come to me and they have a $15,000 builder incentive, I will prepare different estimates for them, different ways they can use that money. So I try to find out, number one, again, goes back to Nick, the discovery is what's most important to them. Is it the lowest monthly payment, or is it the lowest cash to close, right? How long are they going to be in that property? So if it's the lowest monthly payment, then we're going to use the majority of that money. I'm going to show them how low they can get their monthly payment. If they are stretched on cash to close, I'm going to use the majority of that money to pay all of the closing costs, right? And then lastly, if they're only going to be in this property for a couple of years or for 1 year, we will, talk about the differences, 2-1 buy downs, different options where they can use that money to get much lower interest rates for the first 1 to 2 years.
That is such great advice, and I'm sure our listeners are, hopefully we're not making their heads spin, but you know what? We always want to deliver. We are, Terry and I, we want to give back. We want to give and we want to help people. And we understand that when we give, we get. And it's just, it's so awesome. And I appreciate, this is a lot of information. I know Nick wants to chime in on what she just said, but let's keep going and let's keep informing all of our members. This is great stuff. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, no, and what Tabitha said is 100%. We sit down with that 15,000 and we find out what's most important to them. And usually, people come in with a number in their mind, and it's usually the big number. How much is the house? But in talking to them and finding out, what they like to do, they want to have some money extra every month. It usually makes the best sense to buy down the rate. But again, if that's not something they want to do, Tabitha will prepare different scenarios to get what they need. So our lender partners, Tabitha in particular, are fantastic, and they spend that time to make sure that they're comfortable going into this, big purchase, so that's the whole thing. Beazer, our lenders, we want to make sure the whole process is good. Even after they close, a lot of the new home builders, it's you closed, there's your keys, have a nice day. Beazer is very survey driven. We're following up with them a year after and even longer, to make sure that they're happy and they love their new home.
So it's important for you guys, the reviews, it's important, the after experience, the moving into the house, that buyer's remorse of, oh my gosh, what did we do? You really take care of your people. And I think that's really important. On a resale, sometimes not so much, it's not going to be the same, but the fact that, people are calling and you guys are going out there and fixing stuff and making sure your clients are satisfied is really good. Before we get into my favorite topic, Southern Nevada, and talk about why so many people are moving here, we might even talk about one negative thing. Terry, is there anything else on the real estate side or the new home side that I might have missed?
Just HOA. Nick, do you have HOAs that come in and run this after people close on a townhome community, I assume?
Yeah, we have an HOA in place now. So the HOA here at Juniper Trails is $150 a month. But it's just packed with good stuff. Like I said, you've got the pool, a little pool house, big, huge park. And then, throughout the community, other little, gazebo areas and parks, includes water and sewer. So it's,
Wow.
it's great. An HOA is, some people have a little bit of a fear of an HOA. But HOA is there to hold up the integrity of the community, to protect your investment. A lot of times in these resales, you go to a community, oh, there's no HOA. Well, imagine you buy your house now and your neighbor, sets up a mechanic shop or has, junkyard, which they can do because there's no HOA to regulate it, and you might sell your house down the line. You're going to get top dollar for that, with the eyesore across the street, your neighbors. So the HOA is, you get a lot for it here, but it's also a great thing for protecting your investment.
Yep.
Well, I wasn't planning on doing this, Terry, but I think I'm gonna share my screen. Look out.
You always scare me when you say that, David.
I know, right? So, see if I even remember. So, I have a monthly newsletter, and we usually try to talk about, our members for leaving California. But this is something I was pretty proud of. This is my newsletter, and I was featured on Channel 8 News. And when Nick talks about having a realtor that knows what he's talking about, having a realtor that's knowledgeable, I pride myself in knowing I live this every day. And I talk to 10 different people probably every single day of my life about real estate. That's just my goal. And so for Channel 8 News to be featuring me, this comes out on the 18th of the month. And they asked me to talk about the NAR lawsuit, which is buyer's representation and what does real estate look like. This was a pretty heavy topic to talk about, but I really enjoyed it. And I want to give to the community. So I was able to share some stuff. So I'll share that with you guys once it comes out. It's on March 18th. And then with this just talks a little bit about what's projected for interest rates. And then maybe Tabitha wants to talk a little bit about what she's heard, because everybody's always saying, I want to wait till the interest rates come down.
Shoot.
And we all know that when the interest rates come down, Tabitha, what happens to the home prices?
Home prices go up and incentives go away.
Amen.
Amen.
That's simple.
And then this is who I'm working with. I took one of my clients out to dinner last night. She sold her house. She's a super sweet lady. And she was so kind. She went on the news with me and she said, David, I hate being on camera. I don't want to do it. And I said, I really need you. So Carol, a shout out to you. She was on the news and they questioned her. She thought that I was going to be on there with her. She goes, well, as long as you're on there with her. And we got to the studio and they go, no, David's not going to be with you. So she had to do it alone, poor thing. And then this is how about that, Terry? They're coming.
Yeah, I
There's
heard
a
that. They're
rendering.
tearing down the Tropicana to build the A's stadium. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's my little newsletter. And I guess I know I could do this all day, but I know we only probably have 5 or 10 more minutes. So let's talk about Las Vegas, and let's talk about why, some of the negative things. There's so many positive things we have in Southern Nevada. And they're probably tired of me saying how great this state is. Let's hear it from Nick and Tabitha. Nick, what's your top 3 things about Las Vegas? Why should people come here?
You know what? I actually love the weather. There's a brief 3 months, where it gets pretty hot. But I mean, the rest of the time, I mean, we don't have snow. I mean, a rare occasion. And you can get to places. You want to go skiing, we got Mount Charleston. You can be up there in 30, 40 minutes. You want to go to the lake, we have a lake. So it's a lot of fun. It's not just, growing up, it was a casino town for me. We've got world-class restaurants now, shows. We've got the Oakland A's coming, the Raiders. I mean, who would ever thought we'd be a hockey town and
The
Stanley
Aces.
Cup winner? I mean, come on, that's amazing. There's so much to do here. It's crazy. I love it, and the values still are incredibly low compared to the rest of the country. To kind of piggyback what you said about waiting on interest rates, we're trying to combat that by giving you 15 grand. So don't wait, because when the rates go down, builders love to raise the price as our demand goes, through the roof, which is what will happen.
Yeah, that's a good point, Nick. Just to let everyone know, this is March of 2024. So if interest rates are at 5% when people watch this, don't think that you're going to get the same incentives and prices and stuff. Hey, Nick, real quick, can you also address the water issue? People say Las Vegas is going to run out of water. Can you just address that, please?
You know what? We're doing a lot of conservation measures. They're allowing a lot of these big builders to, whether it's commercial, to come in. So they've got to go through process to make sure that we have enough to do what we're doing. So, big pushes from, Southern Nevada Water, trying to get people to, conserve, get rid of their grass, stuff like that. So, they've been saying stuff about our water since I can remember, little kids.
Yeah, me too. I agree. I agree.
So,
And Tabitha, you want to take a crack at it? What do you
Yeah,
what do you
sure.
think?
Well, I've been here since 1970, so we'll put that one out there. I've seen a lot of growth. For me, I think the biggest thing about Las Vegas is, yes, we are growing, but there's still a tremendous sense of community, right? We still, what Nick is saying, there's still, there's everything you can do, anything in this town you want to do, it's available to you. And it's usually available 24/7. So that's a big thing, but there's still this, this sense of community. And I think that for me, that's the biggest plus, is still having, we're a big city, but we're still a little city.
So one of the comments that I get when I post stuff about Vegas in the groups, and it's unfortunate, Terry, we do have a few people, just a really small percentage of people that say negative things in these posts. Can you believe that, Terry?
In these groups, are you kidding me?
Yes, no, there is a couple. There
what?
is.
Negative people in California?
And you know what, Nick? I want both of you guys to respond to this one. They say, "Oh, Vegas, Nevada, yeah, that's like a mini California." No, it's not. Not to me, it's not. What do you guys say to that?
No.
no, I don't think so at all. I mean, it's
Yeah.
as big as we get, it's still weird that it's like Tabitha said, it's got that small town feel. You still run into people, and like, oh, I knew you 10 years ago. It was really neat for me growing up here, knowing that we would never have sports.
Me
Is
too.
watch
Me
the
too. Yeah.
community come together for the nights, go Knights go, right? It's just amazing. And hockey, of all things, in a city that gets 115 degrees, that's been neat for me to watch, because I never thought we would have sports, and now we're gonna have all of them.
Yeah. And here's another one that we get, and maybe Tabitha, you take this one. When the California people come, they're like, "Oh, well, we don't want to go to Nevada because that's where all the Californians are," and they're taking all their California stuff and they're bringing it to Nevada. I completely disagree with that as well. And they're leaving California. That sign behind Terry right now is leaving California. They're not leaving and taking their stuff. They're coming here. What do you say to those people that say, "Oh yeah, everybody that comes from California, they bring all of their garbage with them"?
Oh, I don't believe that. Not at all. No.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then another one that we get, Nick, is we do get a lot of people that will say, "I just don't want my kids to have to grow up in California. I don't want to do that to my kids." So as far as I know, our education is a little bit on the lower side, but we're really working hard to improve that. We got a Republican governor, so things are coming around. When I start getting close to the end of the show, and we're getting close, I know, I always like to hear stories, because I think that the leading California members, they want to hear stories and they want to relate. So, and I want both of you guys to answer this. If somebody was watching the show, one of our members is watching, and they're thinking to themselves, "I really should go. I don't think I should stay anymore." And they're thinking about leaving California and coming to Southern Nevada. What advice would you give them?
Come. I just had a young man, 20 years old, has a decent job. He lives in LA, has to live with his folks, would love to get out and start his life. He can't afford to even rent there. Came here, kind of a fluke, sat with us, we talked, got him with Tabitha, ran numbers. He said, "I didn't think I could own a home," and got himself an amazing home, his first home. So there's opportunity here for folks in California that don't think that they can do anything other than rent, and coming here and owning, you're creating your own wealth, as opposed to renting. You're making your landlords rich. Invest a little bit in yourself and your future. And that's what I'm seeing with a lot of these folks, especially the young ones coming from California.
Yeah.
Tabitha?
I agree with everything that Nick just said. We still have affordable homes, unlike, and brand new homes for $450,000, 1,200 square feet. Nick just talked about, I think less, right? Less than 450. And, in California, that same house is what, $800,000? I mean, I think that's black and white. It's affordability.
The 1,200 square foot was 350, right, Nick? What did you say?
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
1,200's 360.
Yeah.
I was told by some folks in California, LA-ish area, we build the same townhomes there for close to about 700. What you can get here for 360, about half.
Mhm.
So, that's
What's so funny, Terry?
Just amazing to me. Just amazing what you get for your money outside of California. By all means, I can't. Yeah,
Also, no state income tax.
oh my
right.
gosh, it's huge,
Yeah.
huge.
That's right. And the Las Vegas is not the Strip. The Strip is now becoming a smaller and smaller part of Las Vegas. You can
Yeah.
do golf, swim, whatever you want to do in other parts and never even see the Strip. Well, you can see it, but you sure don't have to go to it.
Yeah.
Well-
I can tell you, I absolutely never go to it.
Yeah.
Neither.
Well,
Funny when
Terry,
you
now
hear
you
people
can.
from other parts of the country that, so do you live in one of the
You live?
hotels?
Yeah.
Yes, right underneath the craps table.
I live in Bellagio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make my living playing craps at Bellagio. Sure.
True story, Nick. When I was 14 years old, I worked at Circus as a busboy, and then I ended up becoming a waiter when I was 15. I was one of the youngest waiters ever. But anyway, I was working at Circus, and one of the customers was in there, and they said to me, how do you like living in California? Is it different?" And it really caught me off guard because I'd only lived here for maybe like 4 or 5 years. And they thought that Las Vegas was part of California. It was crazy back then. But now we have really become into our I don't know the word, but Las Vegas is spectacular. And nobody would ever come to Las Vegas and go, "Yeah, you're part of California." No, we're not.
No.
So now and Terry, you can see why I was so excited about this show. These guys are amazing and they're super great to work with. The client that I have, Dave, that's coming from Seattle, he's actually going through Tabitha too, and he told me that she's amazing. These people truly care about you. They care about you, your future, and moving, making it seamless. So as we're wrapping up, I would love for you guys to share your contact information. You could just say how people can get a hold of you, give them your name and your email, and then we're gonna have a closing thought. And this has been so much fun for me. Nick, go ahead.
I'm always on my phone. You can text, you can call. So they can reach me at 702-234-7467.
Okay. And Tabitha, how can somebody get a hold of you if they're thinking about buying a new home?
Same, always will be on my cell phone, 702-461-5229. And if you want to reach me by email, it's Marchello, MARCHELLO, team, TEAM, @NAFINC.com.
And going back to the top of the show, Nick, you had said that nobody had ever asked you to do a podcast. I was really kind of surprised that no one had ever asked you to be a part of their show. I was super excited to have you. So what did you think of the show and the format?
It was great. I'm excited to be a part of it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this was probably the most education we've ever given in one show, in one small little hour. This will really be helping a lot of people. Terry?
Oh, no, this has been great. By all means, I know when I bought my house in California in 1999, it was new construction. Man, there's nothing like a brand new house. It just isn't. And I think, I've known Beazer Homes for as long as I've been in real estate, which is more than 20 years now. So I think they're an amazing builder. And the fact that they are open for business now, giving the concessions on closing costs or the rate, by all means, now's a great time to consider it. Even if you're a ways out, go ahead and go visit Dave. Have Dave take you around to the different Beazer communities. Meet Nick, meet Tabitha. And then I just want to throw in one more thing. Don't forget, in Las Vegas, you can get it just about anywhere in the world from Las Vegas, from that airport. In fact, I landed in Orlando last night at 9 o'clock. And the plane that I got off of from Dallas was, guess where it was going? Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So you can go to Hawaii, you can go to Florida, you can go to New York, you can go anywhere from Las Vegas. I got to tell you, you got me thinking, Nick. You got me thinking.
Well, and again, I'm your
Oh,
host.
wait, Terry.
I'm your host, and I just want to let you guys know that, and again, Nick was encouraging me to do this. So if you're looking for a new Beazer home, he would want you to call me, and then I'll bring you in and introduce you to Nick, and then Nick and I will be teaming up, and we'll be getting your new home. So if you want to get a hold of me, my name is David Berry. The number 702-374-1771. My email is really simple. It's LasVegas@davidberryrealtor.com. And I'll take you to any Beazer community you want. And I think right now they have the biggest bang for the buck with $15,000 in incentives. They won't last forever. So get a hold of us. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This has been a great show. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.